Moon Knight City of the Dead issue number 3. We are about halfway through this mini series now. A series I haven't been enjoying too much. I can feel the mechanics at work introducing us to one-off villains that don't matter from the past, the necessity to bring Randall back into prominence. I get it. I know what we're doing here. The trajectory we're going on currently for Moon Knight. Let's just say this book goes into October, November, the last 2 issues. That leads us to November, which would be issue 29, and then the death of Mark Spector comes in issue 30. So this is an out-of-time sequence somewhere, which means the stakes don't really matter because we know where Mark ends up. And we know that none of the characters we see in this book appear in the real world, whatever that looks like. It's just kind of hard to be excited about this particular story as somebody who has been reading Moon Knight in every iteration forever. I don't think this one is capturing the magic of what the current state looks like for this character. And it's kind of a shame because there's a lot of interesting ideas at play, if only because they feel like we need to put them in because of the movie. I don't know. I say that, and then this book opens up with the son of Midnight Man, Jeff, from that short-lived Moon Knight sidekick thing. He's like, I'm gonna beat you up, you piece of shit. He's got Mark tied up, and he's on the floating ships from the TV show. And he's like, I hate you, I'm gonna beat you up. Yeah, we got the kid chained up. You ain't gonna get to see him though, you stupid kid. But luckily, this was just like a tactic that Mark was using so Layla could come in and save the day. Of course she did, because she's badass and the best character. Very interesting introduction to the Scarlet Scarab character. It doesn't really feel like she has a personality yet, which is, 3 issues in the comic books. That's all she's been in so far. So there's no, defined characteristic for her. But there's not much to it yet, and that's fine. We have to build to that. If somebody uses her afterwards, maybe we will build to that. But now they took out Midnight, which is the kid that was Midnight Man's son. So now they're going to go take on the other villains that are in this book. We cut to them playing, cards. They're talking about, what they're going to do with, the money they get for helping out the Jackal Knight. Bunch of fun stuff. It's cool. It's very interesting to see this version of Black Spectre right now, solely because the current Moon Knight ongoing is all about Black Spectre and the power that Carson had of that name, making Carson the ultimate bad guy to Moon Knight. But here he's just kind of a wimp, and it's just whatever. It's a big action sequence. We got a new artist on this issue, and it's very loose. It flows a lot, and sometimes it could get kind of oh, this is a very big difference than the stiff stuff we've been seeing from Moon Knight currently. Not that it looks bad, we just go all over the place with it. So it's a fight scene. Mark's got a big gun, but his big gun can't penetrate the skin of Taurus. Luckily, Layla's got a bigger gun. That's what we're doing here. And then it just ends with a Mark versus Black Spectre fight, and he sounds like he's kind of scared because the Black Spectre's scared, and Mark whips out a chainsaw, and they save the day. They did it. Mark won in the end. Of course he did. He's got to save this kid Khalil. So they find the kid, and instantly you're like, oh, okay. My first thought, and it's so sad that I thought this, my first thought was, oh, are we wrapping the story up quicker? We're only going to do 4 issues maybe, because we found the kid at the halfway point. But then I was like, probably not. I guess there must be more at stake here. So when they find this kid, he's in a library, I guess, chained up somewhere. And then Layla starts looking through some of the books. She's like, okay, I think I see what the Jackal Knight's doing. And it's more terrifying than we ever imagined. So Osiris, he's been missing for a while, but there's rumors that he goes to the land of the living and he finds a vessel and host there, and he can become an ultimate power. And she's starting to think that Khalil has become Osiris's new vessel. So the ultimate power of the underworld is running through the veins of this kid. Before they can really respond to that, the Jackal Knight shows up, and we get a clear look at him now. And I'm not going to say over-designed, because it's kind of a simple design. It's just not a cool design, I don't know. So if you wanted a little bit of just Randall talking shit about his brother, like, you left me to die, you're a terrible guy, I hate you so much. Then he also reveals like how he came to this land, which if you read Jed McKay's Doctor Strange book, that was when Clea was the Sorcerer Supreme and took the role of her husband. They did like an issue where like the Shadow Knight showed up in there, and I guess it was Randall. So there you go. So he was resurrected, used by a cult, fought the Sorcerer Supreme, and was found by Anubis, and he became, the avatar for Anubis. Now, this is something we could probably spend an entire video talking on. It's something I don't like about the Moon Knight world, and something that seems to be the main focus now in these stories is that every single Egyptian god's got their freaking avatar. I don't like the way that feels. It shouldn't, like, something I've always thought is like, one of the reasons Mark has such this like twisted idea of himself in his head is because of Khonshu. Like, Khonshu is doing something that is disruptive and affecting him. But now, like, Osiris has a guy, Ra had a guy for a minute, and Tawet has one now, and Anubis. It's like there's so many of these people that just have these guys now, and it doesn't feel like anything. It feels kind of hollow. It feels too anime. It just feels too lame. Like, shut up. Just don't use a vessel to fight your wars. Just fight them yourselves, you stupid gods. It's very stupid that way. But Khalil is, possessed by Osiris and uses some magic to cast Randall out of the ship they're on into, like, the seas so Ammit can come and devour it. How are they going to get to the mainland, to, like, the Temple of Osiris? We're going to have to find a way to get this kid to safety, get him to the land of the living. In order to do so, Mark's going to make the sacrifice play. He's going to be a distraction so Layla can fly the kid to safety. Mark gives his friend, a kiss? And we're like, shit, dude, I know you're dead, but I'm pretty sure you're with Greer at the moment. Or you're not. I don't know what's going on. I don't know when this takes place. Maybe you're not with Greer yet, which is a whole other can of worms we don't have to delve into, but whatever. The background even changes to orange, so we're reminded. Tiger's waiting. That's not why the background. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so Mark's in the ship. Layla flies the kid away. The big crocodile lady's going to follow the ship, and okay. It was my big problem with the TV show, too, where I'm watching these things happen, and my reality of Moon Knight has never been, we're in the land of the dead, and he's sailing a ship through the sands. Getting into the Egyptian stuff, I understand why you'd want to do that. It has never been, like, a huge factor for the character. Making it one now, it kind of feels like, and this is maybe a criticism, it kind of feels like the way people have been treating Danny Rand, Iron Fist, where it's like, well, why is this martial arts guy white? We have to make him, an Asian character now. And the Iron Fist book of Lin Lai was pretty fun. But it does feel like it's more reactionary as opposed to like a real thought. And that's what this feels like too. So Mark's going to attack the crocodile, and the book ends with it looking like Ammit's going to eat the ship he's in. What's going to happen next? Stuff, probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sold. It's just so much, and it's just big characters doing big stuff, and I don't really care about any of it because I kind of know how it ends, and I feel like we've done this book better before in other places. I don't know. I hope it sticks the landing. And I guess if you're like new to Moon Knight and your history is with the television show, there are worse places to start. So, Moon Knight, City of the Dead issue number 3, I am going to give a 6 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.